A German tank commander raises his binoculars. The horizon disappears. From east to west, as far as the eye can see, Soviet tanks. Hundreds of them. No, thousands. His radio crackles. How many are there? He can't answer, because he's staring at 6,000 tanks, the largest armored formation ever assembled in human history. And they're all driving straight at him. July 5th, 1943. The Eastern Front is silent. But this is the silence before the storm. For 2 years, Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union have been trying to destroy each other. Stalingrad has fallen, Leningrad is under siege, and now, right in the heart of Russia, there's something. Kursk, the Kursk salient, 250 kilometers wide, 160 kilometers deep. Inside, 1.3 million Soviet soldiers, 5,000 tanks, 25,000 artillery pieces. Hitler looks at this and sees one thing: opportunity. If we can pinch off this salient, he tells his generals, hundreds of thousands of enemy soldiers will be trapped, the Eastern Front will collapse, and maybe, just maybe, we can win this war. But there's a problem. The Soviets know too, and they've been preparing for 3 months. This is the story of Kursk, the greatest tank battle in history. The story of 6,000 tanks, 4 million men, 13 days. For one side, this is a fight for survival. For the other, the last chance. And the battle starts now. April 15th, 1943, Berchtesgaden, Germany. Adolf Hitler stares at the map. His finger traces the Kursk salient. Operation Citadel, he says. The plan is simple but deadly. 2 massive pincer movements from north and south, meet in the middle, cut off the salient, destroy the entire Soviet army inside. Northern pincer, General Oberst Walter Model's 9th Army, 1,000 tanks. Southern pincer, Feldmarschall Erich von Manstein's 4th Panzer Army, 1,200 tanks, in total 2,500 tanks, 900,000 men, the full might of the Luftwaffe. But Hitler's generals are worried. Mein Führer, says Guderian, commander of the Panzer forces, the Soviets are preparing. We know this. Ultra-intelligence has told us. They even know we're attacking on July 5th. Hitler pauses. His hand trembles over the map. So what do you suggest? Cancel it. Wait for the new Tiger and Panther tanks. Get stronger. But Hitler can't wait. Time is his enemy. Every day, Soviet industry produces more tanks. Every week, Stalin calls up more men. No, Hitler says, we attack, because we have nothing left to lose. And so, history's greatest gamble is about to be played. Kursk. The same days, Marshal Georgy Zhukov, the Soviet Union's brightest military mind, stands before Stalin. Comrade Stalin, he says, we know exactly where the German attack will come. We know exactly when it will come, and we're ready. Stalin takes a drag from his cigarette. How can we be certain? Reports from the Lucy spy ring, from Switzerland, direct intelligence from German High Command, and Ultra. The British have broken Enigma. We're reading every German order. Stalin smiles, but it's a cold smile. Then bury them. And that's exactly what the Soviets are doing. Around the Kursk salient, the greatest defensive line in history is being built. 300,000 civilians are mobilized, men, women, children, shovels in hand. Their mission, dig 9,000 kilometers of trenches, lay 400,000 landmines, string 3,000 kilometers of barbed wire, construct 5,000 anti-tank obstacles. General Konstantin Rokossovsky, commander of the Central Front, tours the defensive line. Not 1, not 2, he tells his men, 8 defensive lines. If they break through one, there's another behind it. The Germans will enter the first line and never come out. But trenches alone can't stop tanks. They need something to fight back with, and that's when the trains start coming from the east. Inside, 5,000 T-34 tanks, 3,000 Su-85 tank destroyers, 20,000 artillery pieces, and 1.3 million soldiers. General Nikolai Vatutin, commander of the Voronezh front, looks at his men. Hitler is coming, and we're ready. July 4th, midnight, in the German lines, thousands of engines are starting. Panzer IVs, Tigers, the new Panthers, engines roaring, exhaust smoke filling the night. Lieutenant Hans Ulrich Rudel, a Stuka pilot, writes his last letter. Tomorrow, either we open the road to Moscow, or we never return. In the Soviet lines, a different scene unfolds. General Vatutin reads the intelligence report. German attack will begin at 4:30. First artillery barrage, then air assault, then tanks. His aide asks, "Comrade General, what do we do?" Vatutin smiles. "We wait for them. No, we greet them." 2 a.m. Vatutin gives the order. All batteries, fire on German positions. And suddenly, 3,000 Soviet artillery pieces open fire simultaneously. The German lines are hammered with hellfire. 2.5 hours before the attack is supposed to begin. Wehrmacht command goes into shock. How did they know? But there's no turning back now. 4:30. German artillery returns fire. 10,000 guns pound Soviet positions. 0500. The Luftwaffe takes off. Stukas, Heinkels, Junkers Ju-88s. The sky fills with aircraft. And 0600. The tanks start moving. Operation Citadel has begun. Northern Kursk, General Model's 9th Army. Model calls over Oberleutnant Otto Carius, a Tiger tank commander. Carius, you know the mission. Break through Soviet lines. Open a corridor. Infantry will follow. Carius salutes. Jawohl, Herr General. The Tiger tank, 56 tons, 100 mm armor, 88 mm gun, can destroy any Soviet tank from 800 meters, but it has one problem: slow. 38 kilometers per hour, and the Soviets know this. Carius advances with his tank. Ahead, an open field. Calm. Too calm. Where are they? He mutters. Then he sees it. The ground is moving. From inside the earth, tank barrels emerge, buried tanks. At ground level, only turrets visible. Fire! He shouts. Fire! The Tiger's gun smokes. A Soviet tank explodes, but that's just one. There are dozens more. And then the mines. Tigers are heavy. 56 tons pressing down on the ground, triggering mines. Tracks break. Tanks stop. Model, in his command center, listens to reports on the radio. 9th Panzer Division, 40% casualties. 20th Panzer Division, stopped. 6th Infantry Division, retreating. End of first day. Model advanced 10 kilometers. The plan was 30 kilometers. Southern Kursk. Von Manstein's 4th Panzer Army. Manstein is Hitler's best commander. He succeeded even at Stalingrad, and now he has the best units. 2nd SS Panzer Corps, Das Reich, Leibstandarte, Totenkopf Divisions, 48th Panzer Corps, Großdeutschland Division. Total 1,200 tanks, including 200 Tigers and 200 new Panthers. The Panther tank, brand new, 45 tons, 75 mm long barrel gun, 2,000 meter range, can tear apart Soviet T-34s. But there's a problem. Too new, not yet tested. July 5th morning, Panthers advance, and then engines catch fire, transmissions break, fuel pumps explode. Out of 200 Panthers, 160 break down on the first day. But Manstein doesn't stop. Tigers and Panzer IVs continue. SS Obersturmbannführer Joachim Peiper from Leibstandarte Division drives his tank into Soviet lines. On his radio, "We're advancing fast. Soviet resistance is weak." But this is a trap. The Soviets wait until German tanks break through the first defensive line. Then the trap closes. Second line, third line, fourth line, each one behind the other. Peiper on the radio. Another line. How many lines do they have? Answer, 8. By the end of the first day, Manstein advanced 20 kilometers, but his losses, 400 tanks. July 12, 1943. Prokhorovka village. Manstein's forces, after 7 days, are approaching the center of the Kursk salient. If they break through here, they'll link up with Model in the north. The pincer closes. But Stalin says no. He calls General Pavel Rotmistrov. Take the 5th Guards Tank Army, go to Prokhorovka, and stop them. Under Rotmistrov's command, 850 tanks, most of them T-34s. July 12th, 8 a.m. Rotmistrov looks down from a hill. Opposite him, 600 German tanks, Tigers, Panthers, Panzer fools. His aide, Comrade General, distance is 2,000 meters. Tigers can hit us from 1,000 meters, but we can only hit them from 500 meters. Rotmistrov. Then we'll close to 500 meters, full speed. And he gives the order, attack. 850 T-34s at full throttle, charge toward German lines. Tiger commanders are in shock. What are they doing? Suicide? But Rotmistrov has a plan. If they approach fast enough, Tigers can't target them. Too close range. Result, chaos. Tanks collide with each other. 500 meters, 200 meters, 50 meters. Some tanks crash into each other. One T-34 commander, too close to a Tiger to use his gun, does what? He rams the Tiger. Full speed. Both explode. Prokhorovka field turns into a tank graveyard. 700 tanks burning, destroyed, exploding. End of day. Soviets lost 330 tanks. Germans lost 80 tanks. The numbers say Germans won, but out of Rotmistrov's 850 tanks, 520 are still operational. Out of Manstein's 600 tanks, only 200 are working. And one night later, 400 new tanks arrive from Soviet trains. Manstein realizes he can't win. July 13th, morning. Hitler in his headquarters at Rastenburg. The phone rings. The Allies have landed in Sicily. Italy's about to collapse. Hitler calls von Manstein. Stop the operation. We're transferring units to Italy. Manstein. Mein Führer, give me a few more days. We can take Kursk. Hitler. No, it's over. Operation Citadel is cancelled, but the Soviets don't stop. Zhukov gives the order. Counterattack now. Western Front, Bryansk Front, Central Front, Voronezh Front. 4 fronts simultaneously. German 9th Army, Model's Army, collapses. Panzer divisions take 70% casualties. A German soldier writes in his diary, "Where tanks end, where men end, where hope ends. This is Kursk." August 15th, Soviets retake Kharkov. August 23rd, the Kursk salient is completely cleared. On the Eastern Front, the Wehrmacht is now retreating. They will never attack again. The road to Berlin has opened. The Battle of Kursk, July 5th to August 23rd, 1943. Casualties, Germany, 200,000 killed, wounded, or missing. 760 tanks destroyed. Soviet Union, 860,000 killed, wounded, or missing. 6,000 tanks destroyed. The Soviets suffered more casualties, lost more tanks. But there was one difference. Soviet factories were producing 1,200 new tanks per month. German factories, 500. Soviets could mobilize 2 million new soldiers, Germans, 200,000. Kursk was more than a defeat. It was the breaking point of the German war machine. General Guderian wrote in his memoirs, "After Kursk, the Wehrmacht's armored power was finished. We never recovered." Hitler himself said in late 1943, "We've lost the initiative in the East. Now we can only react." And Stalin. On August 5th, for the first time, he ordered victory salutes fired in Moscow. Kursk is won. The road to Berlin is open. Today, in Prokhorovka field, there's a monument, a giant tank. Around it, hundreds of names, fallen tankers, Germans, Soviets, everyone. Because Kursk wasn't just a battle, it was proof of how destructive humanity could be in the industrial age. 6,000 tanks, 4 million men, 13 days, and these were just the numbers from one battle. World War II would continue for 2 more years, but everyone knew. At Kursk, the war's fate changed. Hitler's last offensive ended, Stalin's victory march began, and the greatest tank battle in history was buried in history. A Soviet tanker in 1944 wrote in his memoirs, "At Kursk, Between fear and death, I learned something. No matter how powerful the enemy, if you're willing to lose more, you win. The greatest tank battle in history. This was Kursk.